style, but I could not catch your eye. Now I stand here helplessly, yeah, hoping you get into me. I am so into you, I can't get to nothing else. I am so into you, baby, I can't get to nothing else. No, no, no. Come on, baby. I'm so into you. I love the things you do. Listen, baby, you're driving me crazy. Come on, baby. I'm so into you. Love the things you do. Come on, baby. I'm so into you. So into you, yeah. I'm so into you.
Hey, 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 hey. Hi, hello. Are you there?
It's time for the truth, and you found the home of it right here.
He wants the white suburbs to be terrified of Black Lives Matter and to think that it's some sort of revolution against the police, etc.
It's time to giddy up. Let's do this, Chicago. Let's make the Census Cowboy proud.
But we need to completely dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department. The Minneapolis Police Department is rotten. So when we dismantle it, we get rid of that cancer.
Here's your truth-telling, freedom-loving, flag-waving host, John James.
Hey. Come on now. Welcome. Oh, look at that. My watch party is back. I can't figure this damn thing out. 9:13, Legacy 1160 WSKW. Streaming live right now on legacy1160.com, the video feed. Go to legacy1160.com/video, or just go to legacy1160.com and scroll down to see the link that says video. It says new video, and you click on that. We're also streaming on the Legacy 1160 Facebook page at American Women Who Bear Arms. Good morning, Norm. Good morning, Donna. Thank you, buddy. Norm loves the flag in the background. I like it. Thank you, my friend. I know you do. You're a great American, Norm. Donna, you too, and everyone else, welcome in. It's great to have you here this morning, everybody who's viewing or listening. I just got to do a couple of shares here real quick to American Women Who Bear Arms. We get a lot of viewers through that Facebook page as well. That's my that's the Facebook page I co-own with Roger Pomerleau, who is a local businessman. And we've also got a bunch of what apparently now I've got the opportunity to share as a watch party suddenly, which occasionally is there and usually isn't. I don't get it, but I will take full advantage of that. And don't you go anywhere. We've got a lot. We've got a whole lot coming up. And Joe Biden was actually on Fox News. Did you hear about this? Of course he was, because Fox News has the other side on, and they let him talk. I think he was on with Chris Wallace. Chris Wallace, a lot of conservatives don't like him because he's not completely 100% conservative all the time. and he hacks at both sides when it's called for. I like that. I like a little truth in advertising every now and again. So Joe Biden was on Fox News, and he says that he has chosen a running mate, and he can't wait to find out who it is. He has no idea, apparently. And apparently, you probably heard about this. Last week, Joe Biden had some kind of a secret meeting with a white woman, Gretchen Whitmer, the deplorable, horrendous governor of Michigan. Yeah, that's a head scratcher, all right. And I don't know if his other candidates aren't going to do him. He thinks Gretchen Whitmer's going to do him good. Really? I don't think Michigan likes her too much, let alone the rest of the country, who doesn't even, most of the country doesn't even recognize some of these names that are just second nature to me, and many of you who listen or watch every day have no idea who is Gretchen Whitmer. It's like Sarah Palin. Who is Sarah Palin? Sarah Palin resonated at first, but then, she just, okay, Sarah Palin. She had a lot of energy. She had a lot of what sounded, I guess, like good ideas at first. And then, people were over her back when she ran for the vice presidential position. Gretchen Whitmer, I think, will be the same thing. I mean, same thing with any of them, any of the ones. With the exception maybe of Kamala Harris, which I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. I was pretty sure about Kamala Harris before, because Politico had apparently accidentally printed something that was supposed to have been embargoed until early last week, saying that Kamala Harris is the vice presidential pick for Joe Biden. But then he put it off because he either had to be told, once again, you are running for president, Mr. Biden. You have got to choose a vice president. I don't know if he just forgot he was running for president, or if he decided, well, Kamala Harris, she really doesn't look like she's going to be the best. Although I would argue that she is probably the best known of any of the candidates that may be his vice presidential running mate. I did see the piece on Fox. Maybe it wasn't. It was a reporter. I can't remember who was out there. One of the reporters for Fox was out there. Joe Biden was riding a bike with a mask on. Okay, fine. I mean, he can, but I mean, why? You're out riding it's for optics. This is all they do. Everything they do is for optics. Why else would you? He wasn't near anybody, even. He wasn't even riding next to anybody. He was riding with people, but none of them were wearing masks that I recall. And there he was riding his bike. Rather than suck in the fresh air, he's riding around with a mask on, thinking maybe, I don't know, maybe he was afraid he was going to suck a fly in or something. I was kind of impressed he could balance on two wheels, though I've got to tell you that. Mikkel, what gun shall we discuss today? Micro 9mm, pocket 380s. That's a good idea. We should talk. I don't know when we're going to have time this morning, Mikkel, but thank you for that. Yeah, because he had wanted to talk about guns, and I thought maybe we could do like a gun day or a Monday gun day, whatever. I don't know what's going to sound better. Maybe you can help me with that, but Monday is the day I think would, just because of the way it sounds. It sounds good. Monday Gun Day. We have Jeff Zimba in. We've had a bunch of gun people on. Let me think. Tatiana Whitlock, Andy Reardon O'Brien, both unbelievable female shooters. In fact, Tatiana Whitlock is a member of the DC Project, where a woman from each state, she is the representative going from Maine to Washington, D.C. to talk with representatives about guns and the need for guns and the protection, to sort of school them a little bit on something they clearly don't know a lot about. and talk to some of the Republicans too, because a lot of them, maybe most of them, know a little bit more about guns than Democrats do. But I don't know that. But I know Tatiana, and I can't remember when she's going down, but she is going down to represent Maine. And we've had her on the show before. It's 9:20 right now on Legacy 1160 WSKW. Let's start the day out with a little history, shall we? This is the Associated Press. The day is August the 10th.
November 10th, 1975.
Superior, they said, never gets up or dead when the gales of November come early.
The ore-hauling ship Edmund Fitzgerald sinks, and its crew of 29 perishes during a severe storm on Lake Superior. 1982. Leonid Brezhnev, the Soviet leader whose years in power saw the stagnation of the Cold War superpower, dies in Moscow at age 75. Yuri Andropov succeeds him in the Kremlin. 1871. In Central Africa, journalist and explorer Henry M. Stanley finds David Livingstone near Lake Tanganyika. Livingstone, a Scottish missionary, had not been heard from for years. 1928. Film composer Ennio Morricone is born in Italy. He's best known for his scores of spaghetti westerns, from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly to A Fistful of Dollars. And 1969.
Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street?
Sesame Street, the kids' TV educational program with Big Bird, Oscar the Grouch, and many more Muppets, debuts on PBS. Today in history, November 10th. Tim McGuire, The Associated Press.
Can you tell me how to get to Sesame? Boy, that show's changed a lot too, hasn't it? Sesame Street. I haven't sat down and watched Sesame Street for a few years. I don't even think my grandkids watch Sesame Street. I don't know why. I don't know. I haven't watched it. I don't know what they're doing now, if they're still teaching the kids good lessons or not. I don't know. But it has changed a lot. You know what I miss? And I actually did used to watch him as an adult just because I really liked him. And you know who I'm going to say, Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I used to like the Electric Company quite a bit too, because there were a couple of girls on there that were hot. And at the time I was like, 13 or 14 years old. And there was this group called the Short Circus. And there was this one girl named Julie. She had really, really, really long hair. And I used to kind of have a crush on her on the Electric Company. And I actually looked her up a year or so ago just because I wanted, you wonder, are they still here? Are they still with us? What are they doing now? And this woman, her real name wasn't Julie, but it was something like that. I found her, and she is an amazing singer. An amazing singer. Now, I'm not going to bore you with finding her and playing you any of her music. She's not a pop artist. She's more classical, I guess. Classical or jazz or something like that. But she's a great singer. She's quite a talent. She was in front of this humongous audience. So her career really took off after the old Electric Company. Maybe that's what got her start. I'm not really certain about that. Sorry, I tried to show. Oh, you like my new haircut? Oh, you know what I was doing? I was looking for my glasses because I couldn't see what I was doing on the screen. I was looking for my glasses, and they were up on my head. I usually have a visor up there, but I got a nice new haircut, and I wanted to show it off for the video today. I'm going to do a little show and tell multi-tools. I've got a multi-tool review. It's the multi-tool review coming right at you. It's the multi-tool review coming right at you. And I'll have that coming up here shortly on Legacy 1160 WSKW. I'm doing these watch parties now, which suddenly I can do on Facebook. I was able to do it about a month ago. Maybe they allow you to do a watch party once every month because this feature disappears, and I want to take full advantage of it when I can because it really garners a lot more viewers than just sharing it with a group on a regular basis. So that's what I'm doing right now. If I sound a little off, well, it's because I am a little off, and it's because I am doing this share. I've got to get into Maine Republicans first here. That is a huge one. And we'll get into a bunch of them. Texas gun owners, and there are a lot of we've picked up a lot of mileage from some of these different pages when we can do a watch party. So I want to make sure I get it with Texas gun owners, and I'm going to keep doing it throughout the morning here. 621-9759, by the way. 621-WSKW. If you want to talk with us, if you want to text, just like Mikkel has already done this morning, simply go to, oops, that's not going to work with Texas gun owners, is it? I don't know. Maybe I've been kicked out. Conservative viewpoints, that's a good one. Oh, now it's not letting me start watch parties. Okay, maybe I've started too many. Maybe I'm being slapped on the hand by Facebook. I don't know. 9:25 right now on Legacy 1160 WSKW. If you haven't read the puff piece on Janet Mills, Mike left it for me here, and I'll read you a little bit of it later on. Now, I'm not doing this because I want to slam Janet Mills. I understand, and I'm going to be real honest. I understand she's got a very daunting job. Do I think she's doing it well? No, not really. But I'm not gonna heavily criticize her because I think she's being led around a lot by the leftists and the people who really want to do damage. I hate to say it, do damage to the economy to hurt Trump. Okay, I said it. Business owners, by and large, are not happy, and some of the edicts that come out of her office. Now, where I will slam her is her inability or her disassociating from Republicans during this whole coronavirus thing. She has not allowed a meeting with the Republican caucus. Now, I guess she put together some sort of a little panel, right? And maybe it included some Republicans, but I'm sure they were handpicked. And the whole thing is it's just rather unseemly, I think, in state government. The article is called, here, it's from the Maine Monitor. I'm not going to read it all. Maine's governor, I did see this. I did see this, Mike. Maine's governor born for hard times and hard decisions, from dealing with a debilitating spinal condition as a teen, which is horrible, to gender bias as an adult. I don't know anything about that. And a pandemic. As Maine's leader, Janet Mills proves she can rise above her critics, even the president, who she hates. And Janet Mills weighed the life-changing decision. A month before her 15th birthday, Janet and her parents and two of her siblings traveled in the family station wagon from the Farmington, Maine home to the A.I. DuPont Institute for Crippled Children in Wilmington, Delaware. She had scoliosis, a severe spinal curvature. My heart goes out, and I can empathize. I can't commiserate because I don't know what that must have been like, but good for her. I'm glad that she has risen above all that, but that sets the stage for all of the other things that they talk about in this article, which I clearly have not read the whole thing. To deter travels, Mills shut down hotels, inns, short-term rentals, and all public and private camping facilities. Even after we knew what this thing looked like. This is after we knew what it looked like. This went on for months, and it kept getting pushed back further and further. At this point, at least, campgrounds are open. I know because I went, and by the way, I've got to ask you this. I saw Massachusetts plates. I saw New York plates. I guess New York can come in, right, without self-quarantining. Massachusetts, I don't believe can they? I don't know. This has been such a fluid edict that it's hard to follow, but I don't imagine that all of these cars I'm seeing from Massachusetts and all of these other states have done what is supposed to be done. How are they policing that? I don't know. Should they be policing that? Well, it depends on where you are. I think we ought to let tourism go on in Maine with social distancing being part of the plan, and everybody that I saw was social distancing at the campsite. The only time there wasn't as much social distance is in the restrooms. If you used a restroom and not your camper restroom, you might get a little closer than social distancing allows in the restroom for a brief moment. But beyond that, and people wore masks in these places, it seemed. And I was encouraged by my own family, my own wife, to wear a mask into these places. And I do wear a mask. I don't have a problem with that unless others aren't in real close proximity and wearing masks, then I won't. Otherwise, if it's a small place and people are in close proximity, I will do my due diligence because I understand. But the edicts are a little out of hand. If you want to read the Puff piece, I would imagine that Mike shared it on the Facebook page, but I will check. This is certainly something to be seen. As I said, I'm not going to read through the whole thing. It's a very long article, and I will read it later. But knowing it's a Puff piece, I mean, you know, I've got my own view, and it's really not going to change much. Again, I feel sorry for her spinal injury. I'm glad to know that. I mean, it's a good thing to know. I didn't know that about her, and I understand she had hardship. And, you know, that, but I mean, what better way to set up an article where you're going to praise her for all the things she has done, whether they are unconstitutional or not, during the coronavirus? You set it up, and this is perfect. This is actually, if you're going to be a progressive propagandist, this is a perfect way to set up a progressive article by first giving people a reason to, you know, the sympathy factor. It's the whole sympathy thing. And then you go on and you read the rest of it and you're like, wow, she really did come. And she's come a long way from her spinal injury, clearly. But that does not justify anything that they're praising her for in this article. I'll leave it up just in case it hasn't been shared, and I'll make sure to share it. 621-975-9, The word you were looking for is a cluster flock. Cluster flock. That's it. I think that's the word. It is sort of a flock, isn't it? I appreciate that. Because sometimes words elude me. I'm not going to lie to you. I have a hard time with words. And I'm a guy, I live and die by my words. So I have to be real careful. And sometimes, you know, my mind just goes blank. We're going to start out with a flashback this morning, and we're going to do that. And this flashback, by the way, just goes back a month. And it features none other than Kayleigh McEnany, the press secretary for the President of the United States, and a banshee-type scream of racism by one of the squad. Who, you ask? I guess you'll have to stick around and find out. We'll be right back. It's 9:33, and I'm John James.
Legacy 1160 WSKW.
I want to tell you about the incredible items you'll find at Townline Antiques, but there's no match for seeing them in person and reliving those wonderful memories for yourself. Shop through their great selection of furniture, artwork, classic electronics, sports memorabilia, jewelry, books, glassware, home decor, and so much more. Take home a little something to decorate a room with style. Add to your collection or share wonderful memories of your past with family and friends. Townline Antiques, open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 to 5, Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassalboro Town Line.
I'm Hunter, and I am Sam.
The Sportsman's Alliance of Maine is a champion of our rights to fully enjoy Maine as we like. Support the preservation of our proud outdoor heritage by becoming a member at sportsmansallianceofmaine.org today.
Kennebec Eye Care is pleased to let you know that they have reopened for routine eye care with temporary office hours Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Fridays from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. To schedule an appointment, call 872-2797. Kennebec Eye Care will continue to follow all CDC guidelines to make sure everyone stays safe and healthy. Contact lens can still be ordered over the phone and mailed to you, or you can set up a time for curbside pickup of contact lens or glasses. Kennebec Eye Care, your sight specialists at 216 Main Street in Waterville, would like to say thank you to everyone for supporting local businesses.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's Collision Center.
If your car is a wreck and you don't know where to go,
take it to Moody's.
You want to get on with your life, get on with the show.
Take it to Moody's.
Good people you can trust, and it won't be a fuss.
Take it to Moody's Collision Centers.
MOODY. Your kid was talking on the cell phone, drove right through your own home, sitting in the parking lot. Maybe you get hit a lot, driving through the green light. Suddenly your side swipe, put it in reverse, but it turned out that it was first.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's Collision Centers.
Your pep rally for freedom is back. Powered by the Gun Shop in Augusta on Coney Circle. Now, here's John James.
Hey, welcome back. I told you I was going to do a multi-tool. I love multi-tools. I do. I have the worst time with tools. I buy them, I like them, and I buy them. One of the most dangerous things in my wallet, and it's not, I don't keep it in my wallet, I keep it in my gun safe now just so it doesn't get too tempting, is my Home Depot card. So I will take my Home Depot card and I will go into Home Depot and I will look and I'll see something. I'll say, I need that. Of course you don't need it. I don't need it. Of course, someday I will maybe use it, but I don't need it. The multi-tool is a gift from heaven because you will always find a use for a multi-tool. Now, this is an older one. I'm showing now. I'm going to describe what it is for our radio listeners. And for the viewers, you can see this. This is a double-ended ratchet set. It's not really a ratchet. It's got sockets. It doesn't ratchet. It's just a wrench with sockets on it. But there are 4 sizes on each end. It's like a little Ferris wheel. And it goes from, oh, gosh, I would say probably 5/8 or 3/4 all the way down to, I can't even read that. The glasses don't help. Down to 10 millimeters. Okay, so we have standard and metric. So that's nice. That's a little older. My wife got me that. Yesterday, we went to Belfast, saw a bunch of virtue signalers on the corner down there. Very liberal town, I think, Belfast. Maybe you're from there. You could text me and tell me if you saw them too. I'm sure you did. Black Lives Matter protesters. They're all white, by the way. That's why I say they're virtue signaling. And do they realize they are promoting a Marxist organization, an organization that aims to take down America? I don't know. I don't know if they do or they're just ignorant virtue signalers. I have no idea. We'll talk about them a little later, though. This is amazing. We stopped into Rennie's down there. And the first thing I see, I don't think it was on an end cap, but it was pretty close to the front of the store. It's a multi-tool. And it has in it, first of all, one of the neat things about this is the end of it is a freaking claw hammer. Perfect for fixing the equipment around here or destroying it, whichever I feel led to do. It's a claw hammer. Have you ever seen such a thing? And then you undo the little thing at the bottom and it becomes pliers. It's pliers. And then, as if that's not enough, you've got your file, you have got your knife, you have got your typical multi-tool things, your combination Phillips screwdriver, whatchamacallit, you've got your bottle opener saw. It was under $10 for this thing. If I only drive one nail to hang a picture, it will have paid for itself. Do you know how much you'd pay for these if you bought it in a store? You would pay not $20, not $40, not $60, but $100. You can get it right now at Rennie's, the main adventure, for just $9. I'm going to sell a pile of these things. I know. I wonder if they have like a club, like one of those multi-marketing clubs, multi-level marketing clubs, where you actually sell multi-tools. I think that would be great. My daughter's in one. She does books. She sells books, and she has these virtual book parties. And she's doing all right. She's making some bank with that. I'm thinking if you could do the same thing for guys and women with multi-tools, that would be a moneymaker. And they probably do have something like that, and I just don't know about it. because I'm not too smart, and I certainly am not very observant as to what's around me most of the time. 9:40 on Legacy 1160 WSKW. Anyway, there's my little show and tell this morning. I hope you enjoyed it. And I don't know if you can get those at all Rennie's, a Made Adventure, or if you have to go to Belfast, but it's certainly worth picking up, I would say. And let me know how you like yours. And let me know if yours breaks. That's what I'm afraid of. If I use those pliers to grab onto anything, I'm afraid they'll break. But I think I'm going to be surprised. The metal is a really hefty little piece. All right, here's the flashback I was teasing you with a few minutes ago. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, back in June. Unless the date was wrong, unless this is recent, I had not heard about this until today. So I think this is a flashback, but if not, it's more current. It doesn't matter. AOC accused White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany of intentionally not recognizing her as a congresswoman after seeing a brief quote on Twitter pointing to the Democratic Socialists' role as, quote, an advisor to the Joe Biden campaign. Well, AOC, she didn't call you congresswoman, so she's got a little hair across her butt. Her panties are in a bunch. She may go commando, I don't know, so that's probably not a fair assessment. A Politico reporter covering McEnany's news conference quoted the press secretary as referring to Ocasio-Cortez as Biden's advisor, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, from the lectern instead of Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and he flagged the Congresswoman on Twitter so she too could see it and respond to it. Ocasio-Cortez replied, well, first of all, let me let you hear McEnany's unforgivable and apparently racist answer to a question from the press. Here it is.
Kelly, what's the president's thinking on this growing movement to either defund or dismantle police forces across the country? And what reforms does the president think would be appropriate in the wake of the George Floyd killing?
Yeah, it's a really good question. The president is appalled by the defund the police movement. The fact that you have sitting congresswomen wanting to defund the police, notably Rashida Tlaib, notably Biden advisor AOC Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a former Clinton and Eric Holder spokesperson Brian Fallon, wanting to defund our police across this country, it is extraordinary. And when you think the left has gone far and they couldn't possibly go farther, because we all remember the defund ICE movement. They want to defund immigration and custom enforcement, and now they want to defund the police. This is extraordinary. This is rolling back the protective layers that protect Americans in their homes and in their places of business. He's appalled by it, and it's remarkable to hear this coming from today's Democrat Party. As for solutions, he's talking through a number of proposals, no announcements on that, but he definitely, as he's noted, recognizes the horrid injustice done to George Floyd and is taking a look at various proposals.
Okay, first of all, she prefaced her comment with sitting congresswomen, notably, and then she named them. But she didn't say congresswoman right before AOC. She said Biden advisor. Ocasio-Cortez replied, press secretary wouldn't be the first person to mistake a woman of color for having a lower position or title than she does. But Kayleigh, in case you haven't picked up a newspaper in 2 years, I'm a congresswoman. Yes, AOC, she knows. She did make a case of that at the very top of her comments, if you would open your ears and shut your mouth. But yes, sadly, we do know you are a congresswoman. It's a horrible realization, but we do realize it because you will not let anybody forget. And no, Kayleigh McEnany is not racist. And she doesn't apparently care for stupid people either, like you. But I rest my case. We've got a 944 on Legacy 1160 WSKW. Here's something else from Kayleigh McEnany, who I like a lot. Despite a fiery segment during her presser, White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany blasted Democrats for defunding the police in areas with rising crime recently, and they're still doing it. They're still out there doing it. In fact, I was listening to Mike Violet this morning, and he had some pieces from Chucky Chuckles Schumer on there, and Chuckles was talking about the kids going back to school and how we don't want to lower the funding and cost jobs for schools and the fire department. Note he said nothing about the police. Why? Because that is a hot potato. The police are now a hot potato for the leftist progressives. Police are taboo for the leftist progressives. Now, wait a minute, Chuckles Schumer. Let me tell you something, and the rest of the progressive elite out there, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, who says Minneapolis police is a cancer and they are rotten, she says. Let me remind you of this. The U.S. Constitution, it's that piece of paper that was, 1787, it was ratified. The Declaration, of course, was in 1776. Constitution came to fortify what was in the Declaration of Independence. And the Constitution and the Declaration put the government in place to what? What? To open the borders and let anybody who wants to come in? No, that flies in the very face of what the Constitution says. You morons, you disingenuous morons. What the Constitution is in place for is so the government, which you are a part of, the government is here to protect our natural rights, period. Whoa, you must have missed that day of school, huh? They don't have that day in school anymore, I don't imagine. I don't know. I know teaching has changed thanks to federal guidelines and Common Core. The Constitution and the government is to protect our natural rights. What are they? Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. What is the military for? The military is to protect us from foreign invasions, from foreign threats, and threats at home. That would be the borders. The borders. So we are spending military money to help build the wall to keep out people who don't belong here. That is part of what government should do. Donald Trump is doing the right thing. So shut up about all this unconstitutional. They don't know the Constitution from a piece of toilet paper. In fact, they probably regard it as such. I'm just so tired of the idiocy. Read the Constitution. Take a Constitution course. And I keep telling you, and I will tell you again and again and again, because it's free. It's absolutely free. Here are a couple of resources for you that I hope you listen to me on this and look these up, because they're free. They're free, and you will learn a lot. You will get a lot of knowledge. You will get a lot of ammunition, and you will see what the leftist progressives are up to without just spewing whatever somebody tells you to, without sharing false memes and false stories. I can't stand it, right or left. I can't stand it. I see it all the time from our side, and I call them out, and it makes me sick. They share things without fact-checking them. Understand what you're sharing before you share it, or don't share it. Don't share it because it sounds good. It sounds like, oh, this will get the Democrat. It's probably not true. So please, here are the two sources. One is Hillsdale College, free. You can literally take a free college course on the Constitution. It is 12 approximately half-hour lectures. It comes with tests after every lecture. You can take the test, you can review, you can take the test again until you know it. And there's Prager University, Prageru. PragerU. Dennis Prager is the founder of that. And 5-minute videos. An enormous wealth of information in 5-minute videos, including the dangers of Islamism. Please don't confuse that with peaceful Muslims. Please don't. Learn about it. Learn about it from Muslims. That's right. It's not some white guy telling you the dangers of radical Islam. It's Muslims who have lived it, telling you the dangers of radical Islam. And they aren't minor dangers either, because this is a group of people who want to take over the world, including dismantling the United States. Does that sound familiar? Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, look it up. Listen to the videos. PragerU and Hillsdale College, two mighty and free resources. And if you won't take a free education, if you're going to wait for AOC and the squad and Bernie Sanders to give you your free education so you can go to an indoctrination university, an Ivy League indoctrination university, you're going to be waiting a long time. So take me up on this free offering, Prager University and Hillsdale College. You will not regret it. And you can always drop out if you don't like it. If it's just too American for you, you can drop out. And it's still not going to cost you a dime. Just don't go back. It's 9:50 right now. Back with more. I'm John James.
WSKW, AM 1160.
My name is Chris Blackburn. I live in New Gloucester.
I'm Penny. I live in Scarborough.
My name is Carl Parker.
My name is Carla Gill. I'm from Portland, Maine.
I have voted for Susan Collins multiple times, and I cannot vote for Susan Collins any longer.
I believe that Susan Collins has changed dramatically.
I have supported Susan Collins, and I will not be supporting her again.
I do not believe Susan Collins is willing to stand up to Donald Trump. Not at all.
Since Donald Trump has become president, it's amazing how often she has taken his side.
I know that Sarah Gideon has long had a reputation for being a consensus builder and working across the aisle to get real legislation done.
I'm supporting Sarah Gideon because I truly believe that Sarah Gideon will fight for Maine.
I believe that Sarah Gideon would stand up to Mitch McConnell.
I have such hope for Sarah. I think she's clearly in touch with Maine, and that's what I'm hoping she can bring to Washington.
I will be supporting Sarah Gideon.
I'm Sarah Gideon, running for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message. Paid for by Sarah Gideon for Maine.
Summer will soon come to an end, but not the great deals during Haight Chrysler Dodge Jeep's August summer clearance event. Stop in and save on new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles now through the end of the month. Haight Chrysler Dodge Jeep, 507 Lakewood Road, Clowns Corner, Madison.
Enjoy some fresh air and fresh art with Common Street Arts. Hi, I'm Kika, Program Manager of Waterville Creates, inviting you to check out the latest exhibition at Common Street Arts Gallery, Mojus, or Maine Open Juried Art Show, featuring Maine artists in a variety of media. And don't forget to take a look at Annika Early's installation titled in German Zauberstabet, or As She Made Her Bed. You can see her beautiful work right in our front window at 93 Main Street, Waterville. We have fresh projects going on in our after-school programs for kids on Tuesdays and Thursdays all the way to the end of the school year. And don't forget, our popular summer art camps start on June 26th and run for 7 weeks. Welcome spring with fresh art from Common Street Arts. For more information and to sign up, visit commonstreetarts.org. And don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's Collision Center.
If your car is a wreck and you don't know where to go,
take it to Moody's.
You wanna get on with your life, get on with the show.
Take it to Moody's.
Good people you can trust and it won't be a fuss.
Take it to Moody's Collision Centers.
M-O-O-D-Y. Your kid was talking on the cell phone, drove right through your own home, sitting in the parking lot. Maybe you get hit a lot, driving through the green light. Suddenly your side swipe, put it in reverse, but it turned out that it was first.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's Collision Centers.
Welcome back. Thank you for the texts and the Facebook posts. Let's get to the texts here. Okay, this, I'm not sure who this is from. Hillsdale is awesome. That's from one listener, and another listener says, Yes, Prager University is great. Two people said that. Okay, good, nice. So there you go. I've given you two resources now. I hope you use them because I'm not trying to make any money off it. I don't know any of these guys who run these places. I've been a Hillsdale College fan for a long time. More recently, a Prager University fan, but they're both online resource. I love the internet for this stuff because it's free. I mean, they don't charge you a thing to learn about America, which is something you pay, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year to a university for, and you never learn the stuff. You never learn the stuff. You're too busy out doing your social justicing, I guess, keeping conservative speakers out of the school and railing against any conservatist kids who are on campus. That's what parents spend all this money on. I would encourage you, don't go to college. Go to a community college. Go to a trade school. College is way overrated and way underhelpful, if I do say so. It's 9:55 here on Legacy 1160. Let me see. And on Prager University, just to get back to the Islamist thing, and again, I'm not saying, are there peaceful Muslims? Yes, I know some. I am friends with them. But I will tell you, there is an inherent danger in people being converted into and being convinced, and people can be easily convinced. I heard a statistic. And I'm going to look this up. I think I heard it. I read it, I think, in Pete Hegseth's book, his new book, which is just absolutely awesome. That 25%, and there are a lot of Muslims in the world, up to 25% are radicalized. And we have heard people like the socialist there on the Seattle City Council, like AOC, Ilhan Omar, want to dismantle and she's from a place that was very oppressive. She comes from Somalia, a very oppressive place. Are people from Somalia welcome to come to America? Of course. Are we going to let them change our society? No, we're not. No, we're not. Freedom-loving people are not. I'm sorry. Yeah, she's a congresswoman. She was elected. Doesn't mean she's right. Doesn't mean she's going to get a lot of pushback. Doesn't mean that she shouldn't be brought down. And by brought down, he's suggesting people go after Ilhan. No, brought down by the ballot and by freedom-loving Americans. You know what I mean. We can't allow these people to infiltrate our government because they are not there for the right reasons. They don't understand the Constitution. They don't understand that they are there and have been put there. Obviously, their voters don't know the Constitution either, or they wouldn't have put them there. But they have been put there in order to, according to the founding documents, the Federalist Papers, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, to protect our natural rights, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. That includes self-protection. That includes keeping us safe from people in our country and out of our country who would want to hurt us. That means we need a strong military. That means we need a strong police force. That's constitutional guarantees to us. And they are clearly stating we want to dismantle them. They want to get rid of ICE, police, immigration police. They want to get rid of our police, our police forces. They want to defund the military. Those are the very things the Constitution guarantees that the government is going to keep for us and fund for us and make sure is strong for us. And they're trying to dismantle them? Not going to happen. Sick and tired of anti-constitution. Oh, Donald Trump, I don't like the way he talks. He knows the Constitution better than you do, if you're one of those. And you are a snowflake if you can't take truth. And he does tell lies, and he makes me mad. He says things he shouldn't say, but that doesn't mean that what he's doing isn't the most righteous thing any president, save for maybe Reagan, has tried to do in the past. Reagan was demonized too. And they do it the same way every single time. Oh, you're keeping people down. You're providing for the rich while the poor starve and go hungry. Everybody's got equal opportunity in America. I don't know what model you're working off. I don't know where, the Democrats are keeping people down. The Democrats want control over the poor people, the poor neighborhoods, the high crime neighborhoods. They want control. This is why they do this. This is why they keep you down. Open your eyes and see. It's amazing what a little daylight will do if you're honest about what you see, which I know a lot of people can't be. It's 10 o'clock. We'll be back with more after the news. I'm John James. Thank you for being here.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.
ABC News, I'm Rena Roy. The United States struggling to figure out how schools will reopen as the country reaches 5 million coronavirus cases. ABC's Jim Ryan says nursing homes and assisted living facilities.
Hey there, Facebook. How are you? We're only on Facebook now. I'm sorry if you were listening to the news. I apologize for that. I just wanted to check in with you. Thank you for being here, and share the video if you would. I don't understand why all of a sudden I am able to start watch parties. I can't now. Now suddenly they have stopped me from sharing any more watch parties. I guess there must be a limit. And I won't see, the watch party will not be available to me again. I guarantee it, for another month. It's one of those things. So I'm just going to have to share to groups, I guess, which is no problem. Okay, so plenty of stuff to get to. Sometimes it seems discouraging, all of this negative news, because because we talk a lot about the legacy media. Not us. We're legacy media, all right, but that's our name. Legacy media, mainstream media, propaganda media, all the same thing. All they do is incite anger. All they do is use rage as their tool to keep the war going, to keep the outrageous behavior of militant groups in big cities going, by not reporting on violence, instead calling everything peaceful. We've got more on that this morning too. There's a lot of stuff we've got to get to. I encourage you to call us if you would like. 621-9759. I'll try to catch the call. You can text us or post on Facebook, and we will get to some of your comments. I appreciate your being here. And back to the news now, and back to the show in just a minute.
And what makes her happy. But unfortunately, baby can't talk or remind you you're the one taking her to daycare today. And she won't speak up if you drive straight to work like any other day and never think to look in the backseat. Every year, dozens of kids die from heat stroke in cars. No one is perfect, so set a reminder and always look before you lock. Where's Baby? Paid for by NHTSA.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babbel. Babbel starts by teaching you words and phrases that gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just text PROGRESS to 64,000. That's PROGRESS to 64,000.
You're listening to Freedom's Pep Rally on Legacy 1160, where Black voices matter.
This is an organization that is supporting the undermining of our constitutional republic. This organization does not deal with the rule of law. It is all about the rule of the mob.
Black Lives Matter does not speak for Leo Terrell. And there is no representative, there's no monolithic group like Black Lives Matter that speak for African Americans.
The liberal ideology has been very destructive for the black community for the last 50 or 60 years. Poverty is now generational. It's a lifestyle. The unemployment is obscene. They have to send their kids to failing public schools, drug and alcohol addiction, neighborhoods that are crumbling, all under Democrat control.
Here's your pep rally host, John James.
Welcome back. It's 10:05. We're going to hear from Leo Terrell. Leo Terrell is a Democrat. He's a liberal. He's done drinking the Kool-Aid. That takes more than a little courage in today's political world, especially coming from the place of somebody like Leo, who is not only black, who is not only a Democrat liberal, he is also a civil rights attorney. He is also a civil activist, an activist. He is a radio talk show host in California, former school teacher. I mean, this guy has credentials up the wazoo, and he's done. He's done taking it. Okay, Mikkel. I will, if we have time. If we don't talk guns today, my friend, we will talk sometime. It doesn't have to be Gun Day Monday. I've just got, there's just so much stuff. So much stuff to address this morning. Let me get to some of the Facebook comments. Donna says, you definitely had an interesting Facebook weekend. I lost about 30 friends, by the way. Oh, look, I lost one already this morning. Okay. I know it's easy this is easy for me to track because 5,000 is all they allow you for friends. If you don't know that, you're only allowed 5,000 friends. Anytime it dips below that, that means I can accept another friend who has requested me. And I've got I don't know. I just go through the list and I pick somebody. So if you've sent a friend request, I sure do appreciate it. And I'm just going to go in here and pick one right now and add them. So I'll be back up to 5,000. That's just how I, Denise. Okay. I just added Denise. So I'm back to 5,000. Yeah. Let me tell you about my Facebook weekend. Boy, oh boy, people, I swear 30, I went through like 30 people on my friend request list to fill in the blanks. And again, I would love to be your friend, especially if you want to comment on the show, you want to be polite. I only deleted one, and I'll show you why. I do have a limit. I don't delete people, even of the opposite mindset. I've got good friends on both sides, but I will tell you, there is a limit. And I don't know. I did so many posts this weekend that I'm probably not going to be able to find it. I did one on abortion. I said inconvenient and triggering fact. And this may trigger some listeners, and I'm sorry if it does trigger you. I'm not sorry for feeling this way. I'm sorry if it triggers you. Inconvenient and triggering fact, abortion is legalized murder by mama. And I had some people coming out again, you don't believe in a woman's right, blah, blah, blah. We've heard all these arguments. And if it was just a woman, if it was just a woman's body, I would not say a word. I would say absolutely. Absolutely. You know, whether it's genital mutilation, I guess they call it. I don't know. Whatever. I don't care. It's up to you. It is. It's your body. But where another human being is concerned, I'm sorry, I kind of draw my limit right there, for better or worse. And Lord forbid, you bring religion into it. You bring the Bible into it. I had somebody use the term Bible thumper. I hate that term. First of all, it's name calling. I called nobody any names. Do women oftentimes regret having an abortion? Who have? Yes, they do. Maybe more often than not. Can they be forgiven by God, by humans, by me? Absolutely. Absolutely. Nobody is going to be, if you had an abortion and you regret it and you would never do it again and you're sorry for it, you know, my heart goes out. There are women who suffer because they had an abortion and now realize exactly what they did. For whatever reason. I don't know if they got religion, if they got real, if they have subsequently had a baby or seen a little baby, or if the abortion made them not able to have children. I don't know what the reason is. But I know a lot of women do have regrets afterwards. And then there are some who go to Washington, D.C., who stand up on the podium in front of the Supreme Court and they scream how proud they are of their abortion. I'm glad. I forget the woman's name. I had audio of her for the longest time, and I've still got it in here. I'm not going to go looking for it. But she, oh my, smug, arrogant, loud, brash, proud. I had an abortion. All right, that's a little much, honey. Just shut up, okay? The reason they were out on the Supreme, and Chuck Schumer was virtue signaling with the women saying, I'm going to get you, we're going to come after you, Kavanaugh. Do you remember that? He was threatening the justices if they made the wrong decision on abortion, and they were hearing a case. Now, they weren't. There was no decision. They were just hearing a case. So there's a big abortion rally. But yeah, the word Bible thumper, that sets me off. I mean, that I'm sorry, you've lost me. You say that, you've lost me. Somebody who I thought was a little bit more reasonable than that. But no, guess not. People surprise you when you start talking about abortion, when you start talking about religion, when you start talking politics now, people's true colors come out. I had somebody call me, what was it? I was a representative, a Maine representative over the weekend. Oh, shoot. Former mayor from Hollowell. She's very nice. I like her. I've had chats with her. And for some reason, this is the thing where words escape me. I forget the words. I forget the names. But I commented on a post because she had said, we should take funds away from the police and give them to education. And first of all, we need police. I mean, that's your job as part of the government, to protect the people, to protect our what? To protect our what? Our natural rights. It's in the Maine Constitution. It's in the U.S. Constitution. That's your main goal. That is your main goal. So you're not taking, you're not going to go just willy-nilly, just, let's take money away from the police. We'll give it to education. And I made the terrible mistake of saying that these are giving money to indoctrination camps where kids are babysat. That was sort of flippant. I will admit that. That was very flippant on my part. I should have and could have chosen my words a little bit more carefully. But boy, I was taken apart after I said that. You know, I was accused of completely dismissing a profession, meaning teachers. I said nothing about teachers. I said schools. You can take it as teachers if you want. That's up to you. Schools are under the government's control. The government mandates what's going to be taught, i.e. Common Core. Unless it's a private school, a charter school, or something like that. And I don't know. I've talked to some kids, and I told this person, I said, I've talked to kids, and I've heard some of the things they're learning, and these just aren't, these aren't things I remember learning. These aren't really important things. What is any parent who's dealt with Common Core math, what is that? You remember in Washington, I think it was in Seattle, they called math racist. You can't make this stuff up. And this is what we're sending our kids into. Now, maybe Maine isn't quite as bad, but we know in southern Maine that schools allowed kids the day off. They allowed them to be truant for a climate strike. Climate change, man-made climate change is not going to kill us. Okay? It's not. It's a means to get power. It's a means for the left to get control and change the meaning of our Constitution, just like defunding ICE, just like defunding the police is. Doesn't matter. It's all a means. They are not, by any stretch of the imagination, good means at all. They aren't moral. They aren't righteous. They are absolutely the opposite. But as Saul Alinsky, Rules for Radicals, says, a means to an end. It doesn't matter what the means is as long as you get to the end you want. The end is power. The end is money and power and control. That's what they're going for. That's their end game. Doesn't matter what they have to do to get there. Doesn't matter how many people have to die or be hurt as they defund police. How many people in New York have died because of Bill de Blasio cutting from the police department? How many people do you think have died? How many times do you think Bill de Blasio's life was on the line? How many times do you think he's been afraid to go into the neighborhoods? No, zero, because he doesn't go into the neighborhoods. He doesn't have to. He has full control over them. He has full control, apparently, over the police with a very liberal city council, clearly. So they just decide, well, we're going to do this. This will give us more power. It'll keep the people down. The people will need us even more when we defund police, because the neighborhoods that are already bad, that already disrespect police, are going to get worse. And guess what? They're going to look to government. We're the government. We'll help you. Mistake number one. 1017 on Legacy 1160 WSKW. Let me see what we've got for comments going on here. Am just a number in your life, John. What? No, you are not just a number. Leo Terrell is voting for Trump. Yes, he is, Corey. You are not just a number. You're a good man, Corey. I know who you are. I know Corey Wilson. Great man. Great local guy. Oh, it's a picture of him with his baby. Ken, good morning. Just went to Hillsdale College website. Very easy to navigate. The courses I referred to are right there, easy to access. They sure are. They sure are. And you sign up and you become a student. I mean, there are certain places I sign up for that I regret it because I get emails from them and I wish I'd never have to hear from them again. Hillsdale College is not one of those. Hillsdale College is someplace you'll be pleased to get email from. Same with PragerU. So I'm glad you're checking those out. And you will not regret it. You'll learn a lot. It's all American. It's wholesome. And it will give you not only some ammunition to fight. I mean, that's not our goal, right? Our goal is not to fight and win battles against our enemies. I mean, real battles, yes, but I mean social media battles. You get into these fights and nobody wins. Nobody wins. Nobody walks away a winner because then things amp up. People start throwing insults. And as soon as that begins, it's all over. And by all means, don't share false memes. Check out the memes, check out the articles, and see where they're from. Anything that comes, for example, from Babylon Bee, probably not going to want to share that. People share these things all the time. Babylon Bee is a satirical website. Many of them are. And they sound true. There is a lot of, it sounds like it would be, it's outrageous, but we've seen so many outrageous things happening that are true that outrageous things that really aren't much of a surprise. So you got to be real careful about doing that. So that's my encouragement for the day. But these tools, PragerU and Hillsdale College, will give you not just tools you need to win an argument, but they will also give you knowledge it takes to fight against tyranny. It's in what you know. If you don't know what you're fighting for, if you're only fighting for something that you think is right because somebody you respect says it's right, but you're not really sure, you don't know it for yourself, you're better off learning it for yourself and telling others. And that's not to say you can't learn a lot from other people too, but maybe they went to PragerU and Hillsdale College too. I don't know. 10:20 right now on Legacy 1160 WSKW. And back to what's going on. Let's, if you missed this last week, I don't remember what time. I think it was in the 11 o'clock hour. I want to play this again. And then we're going to get into some Leo Terrell for you. Black Lives Matter. Now, I saw in Belfast yesterday a bunch of white mask-wearing protesters carrying Black Lives Matter signs. Now, I don't know where they're coming from. I have no idea where they're coming from. I would love to have gone up with a phone and interviewed them. But my wife and I were headed down to Rolly's for dinner, and I wasn't gonna, that wouldn't have been fair to her. So I didn't. We just went down but they were carrying Black Lives Matter sign, a whole pile of them on the corner in Belfast. And they're all white. And I'm thinking, now, is it that they are pushing Marxism, meaning a dismantling of capitalism, democratic republic, freedom? Are they pushing that? Are they pushing for the dismantling of society, the dismantling of police, which is wholly unconstitutional? Or are they just ignorant, which doesn't excuse them any less? Are they just ignorant that Black Lives Matter is a Marxist group? Maybe they don't know that. Well, they should. If they're going to carry the signs, I sure as hell wouldn't carry a sign for any organization without knowing what the organization stood for. And if they stood for Marxism, I don't care how righteous it sounded, I wouldn't carry their sign. So I don't know where these people were coming from. And again, I sure would have liked to ask. I may make a return trip this weekend and just do a little interview. I'll be polite. I'll be polite about it. I'm not going to be mean. I'm not going to be nasty. That's not how I roll. But I would like to hear what they have to say. I think they were just virtue signaling. And they weren't getting many honks. I'll tell you, we're getting many honks from honkies. I'm sorry, that didn't come out right. It just this is what I do. This is the way my head works. Always trying to be the class clown. And do I think Black Lives Matter? Of course. Why is everything broken down into factions, into groups? Why isn't it American lives matter? Why are we not all Americans? You know what a lot of black people are livid about? I think all should be livid about it, is African Americans. That is, who came up with that brilliant phrase? Because a fraction of American blacks are from Africa. Hello? I heard from a black man this past weekend. I am an American. I am a black American. I am an American. Amen. Hallelujah. Not African American. You're not necessarily tied to Africa. That ties you to Africa. That ties your ancestry. And it's not even a nationality. It's not even an ethnic group. It's a continent, for crying out loud. Black people come from all over the world. It just defies logic. So I am going to try my darndest not to use the words African American anymore, because it does insult a lot of Americans, a lot of Black Americans specifically. So I want you to hear this Black Lives Matter piece. And it tells you exactly what these sign-carrying, virtue-signaling dopes are supporting, what they're touting. They might as well be down there with a hammer and sickle on their sign saying Communist Lives Matter, because that's the group. That's the group. They're out there, they're promoting them. It's like free promotion. It's a big nationwide commercial. It's come to Belfast, Maine, and other communities in Maine. Why they're doing it right now in Belfast, Maine? You're Sunday, let's just go out and walk around in the hot sun carrying BLM signs. Makes sense, right? I don't know. They're all head shakers, all of these things. We've got to take a break here. We'll be back with more, including that piece on Black Lives Matter that I hope you stick around to listen to. And we've also got some Leo Terrell, an amazing man, coming up. I'm John James.
WSKW, AM 1160.
I want to tell you about all of the incredible items you can find at Townline Antiques, but there's no substitute for seeing them in person and reliving those wonderful memories for yourself. Now's the perfect time to shop through their great selection of furniture, artwork, classic electronics, sports memorabilia, jewelry, books, glassware, home decor, and so much more. Take home something to decorate a room with style, add to your collection, or share wonderful memories of your past with family and friends. Townline Antiques, open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 to 5, Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassaboro Town Line.
In the midst of the COVID crisis, Maine small businesses are fighting for survival. Senator Susan Collins co-authored the Paycheck Protection Program, helping 27,000 Maine small businesses. Here's Senator Collins.
The Paycheck Protection Program has been a lifeline to more than 240,000 Mainers and brought more than $2.2 billion to the state of Maine.
But Senator Collins isn't stopping there. She's co-sponsored S4321, the Continuing Small Business Recovery and Paycheck Protection Program Act.
We are today proposing a second round of PPP loans for the hardest hit small businesses.
Call Senator Collins at 207-780-3575. Urge her to pass S4321, the Continuing Small Business Recovery and Paycheck Protection Program Act. Provide more small business relief. Keep fighting for Maine jobs. Paid for by One Nation. www.onenationamerica.org.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's Collision Center.
If your car is a wreck and you don't know where to go,
take it to Moody's.
You want to get on with your life, get on with the show.
Take it to Moody's.
Good people you can trust and it won't be a fuss.
Take it to Moody's Collision Centers.
MOODY. Your kid was talking on the cell phone, drove right through your own home, sitting in the parking lot. Maybe you get hit a lot, driving through the green light. Suddenly your side swipe, put it in reverse, but it turned out that it was first.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's Collision Centers.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Partly sunny this morning with a chance for an isolated shower or thunderstorm. It is going to be a warm and humid day today with highs in the mid to upper 80s. We'll have the chance for showers and thunderstorms through this afternoon. Hot and humid tomorrow and Wednesday with highs in the low 90s. Chance for some afternoon showers and thunderstorms both days. 80s and less humid for the end of the week.
Your pep rally for freedom is back. Powered by the Gun Shop in Augusta on Coney Circle. Now, here's John James.
Hey, welcome back. Hi, Shelley. Shelley says they're probably, in talking about the protesters in Belfast, Shelley used to work in Belfast, says they're probably, she would bet most of them are from away. You know, I would suppose you're right. I was thinking the same thing. And I did see a lot of Massachusetts plates in Belfast yesterday, regardless of the edict set down by Governor Mills. I don't know whether or not they had tests or anything. I don't, I personally, I don't care. I mean, they're here spending money, so, I bet a lot of them are from, probably from out of state who are Black Lives Matter. What I'm talking about, the Black Lives Matter protesters. And good morning, Paul. Thank you very much. Down in Miami. Sorry for okay, I'm getting a lot of, that's okay. Of course, we're known trained. Of course, they are known trained communistic Marxism. They are. They're all seditious. I've spoken with the Portland protesters and the Bangor heads. They know they are purposed. One world order is tired of waiting. That's right. They're tired of waiting. They are they've grown impatient, thanks in large part to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is setting them back. He's taking them back in time. Things have been going slowly, methodically. Why do I say Donald Trump is maybe not the smartest, maybe not the most well-spoken president of our lifetime? No, you can make an argument about either of those things. And you're probably right. Is he the most necessary president for our freedom, for our independence, for our country? I think yes. I really do. I think yes. And I think that is made clear by the fact that these people are losing their minds. They're absolutely, suddenly losing their heads because we haven't noticed. Really, I really hadn't noticed that we are losing our freedoms incrementally, little by little. The First Amendment thing has been, you've seen that deteriorating for a while before Trump. You've seen the Constitution pretty much disregarded a lot when it comes to the Second Amendment. But it's happened. I mean, it's been happening. The NRA and Gun Owners of America have helped us keep our gun rights intact. But if it were left up to the politicians, we would have lost a lot of our gun rights, if not all of them. We would have lost our Second Amendment, maybe. When Donald Trump came in, though, he was like a bull in a china shop. He said, we're not going to, the First Amendment stands, I'll prove it because I'm going to say what I want to say, regardless of what you think. The Second Amendment stands. The gun rights aren't going anywhere. We love the NRA. And they hate it. They hate it. He is moving us back toward more freedom by standing up against defunding the police, against open borders, against defunding immigration officers. He is moving the Democrat, progressive, socialist, communist, tyrannical left back just when they were starting to gain ground, and they cannot stand it. If Hillary Clinton had been elected 4 years ago, this would look like a different country right now. Would we have still had coronavirus? Well, I don't know. How much did the left have to play in allowing that to come here? We don't know. We can't go back. I would like to. I wish we could do a side-by-side comparison, juxtaposing what would have happened to what has happened. And I would like to see the difference. People's behavior, what comes our way, what is investigated. I'd like to see it all side by side. We can't, of course. We cannot, of course. Maybe someday, if you believe in a higher power and a higher place, which I do, maybe we will be able to look. Maybe we will be able to look back and see such things. I don't know. It would just be kind of neat. And it'd be very telling, wouldn't it? But here's where we are. Here's where we are. And I think we're headed in the direction we want to go. And all of the roadblocks, all of the tyranny, all of the anger and the hatred and the violence violence-fueled protests. I said violence-fueled protests are a direct response to what the narrative in the progressive left and on mainstream media has been. Don't believe me? Listen to one of our black voices. We'll have him coming right up. Leo Terrell. He's amazing. First of all, the Black Lives Matter piece. Aired this once last week, just so you know, when you see a BLM protester in any of the communities holding a Black Lives Matter sign, not a Justice for All Americans sign, which would be fine. Justice, we want justice for all Americans? Yeah, we do. We absolutely do. I don't care what your color or creed is. Yeah, that's a fair and true statement. We want justice for all Americans, regardless of color, regardless of race, regardless of country of origin. Unless you're here illegally, then you are, by definition, a criminal. But Black Lives Matter stands for everything un-American. And here is a piece from last week, and it tells you exactly what BLM is.
Many see the slogan Black Lives Matter, or BLM, as a noble plea for equal treatment under the law. It's a cry to secure the rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for everyone. But what does the Black Lives Matter organization actually stand for? To find out, look no further than their leaders, Alicia Garza, Opal Tometi, and Patrisse Cullors. Here's Cullors in a revealing 2015 interview.
We actually do have an ideological frame. Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists.
Visit the Black Lives Matter website and read the list of demands to get a sense of how deep a transformation they seek. One of those demands proclaims, quote, "We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another. We can't be certain, but it's hard to believe this radical agenda is what most signed up for when they made that hashtag Black Lives Matter social media post, or that every employee, customer, or shareholder at Nike endorses a disruption of the family." Garza first coined the phrase in 2013, the day George Zimmerman was acquitted of murdering Trayvon Martin. Her friend Cullors added the hashtag and joined the words so it could travel through social media. Tometi created the digital platform blacklivesmatter.com. According to Robert Stilson of the Capital Research Center, the group became a self-styled global network in 2014 and a fiscally sponsored project of a separate progressive nonprofit in 2016. This evolution has helped embolden an agenda vastly more ambitious than a national defunding of police. The goals of the Black Lives Matter organization go far beyond what most people think. They're hiding in plain sight, there for the world to see. If only we read beyond the slogans and the summaries of the movement they helped to create. It's a distinction with a profound difference. Their radical Marxist agenda is bent on supplanting the basic building blocks of society, the family, replacing it with the state, and destroying the economic system that has lifted more people from poverty than any other. Theirs is a blueprint for misery, not justice. It must be rejected.
It must be rejected. Do you remember they were marching? This is Black Lives Matter, by the way, not Antifa. They've never liked police. Never liked police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. You remember that now famous chant? Black Lives Matter, pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. That's what you're supporting. If you support the organization, and by carrying their sign, you're promoting them. Whether you know you're supporting a Marxist organization or not, you are. You are. It's not an innocent phrase. It is tied to something much more sinister, much more dangerous. That's one of the questions I will ask the people if I get to interview them this weekend in Belfast. Do you know what you're supporting? Do you know what Black Lives Matter is? Where are you from? What are you doing? What are you promoting? Do you want to defund police? Oh, I've got a bunch of questions I'd like to ask them. And will, again, if I do get the time to go down next weekend. So Leo Terrell, black, liberal, civil rights attorney, been no friend of Donald Trump and the Republicans. In fact, a few months back when the fight for the Democratic nomination was going on, Terrell stood up for Michael Bloomberg while damning Donald Trump. He was on the Ingram angle with Laura Ingram and Candace Owens. And this is what Leo Terrell had to say then.
Look around. Take a moment. Process this. This is the...
Okay, wait a minute. That's Ali Velci. I don't want Ali Velci. I want Leo Terrell. No, don't tell me we don't have that. We don't have that cut? Okay, try this.
Let me be very clear. I'm a civil rights attorney for 30 years. I fight against racism, and unlike Donald Trump, I accept Mike Bloomberg's apology, and it will not be a stumbling block to stop and frisk. And by the way, fair and balanced, Donald Trump supported a stop and frisk, and he never apologized. Mike Bloomberg apologized for it. And I want to say this also, Laura. Mike Bloomberg has surrounded himself with minorities. I hope Candace can answer one simple question. Is there a single black person in the West Wing of the White House? I've been trying to do some research, but I can't find just one. There's no Colin Powell. There's no Condoleezza Rice. Donald Trump does not have blacks in the West Wing.
All right. That was Leo Terrell then. And I unfortunately, I'm going to have to take a break, but I want you to hear Leo Terrell now. And you will. I've just got to dig it out. I just redid all the audio this morning and apparently must have deleted it. Yeah, go ahead. You can go ahead and try that one. I don't think that's it. No, that's not it. Okay. So we'll be back with Leo Terrell. I will play that one again if you want to call somebody and tell them, listen to Leo Terrell's change of heart since these protests began. Stick around. Coming up, I'm John James.
Legacy 1160, WSKW. This past year's economic roller coaster has all of us wondering what the future will bring. But you'll find heating fuel price stability through one of Bob's Cash Fuel's programs that'll give you peace of mind. Since Bob's Cash Fuel was formed in 1981, customer satisfaction has been their number one goal. With their pre-buy program, your price is secure and locked in. If you purchase the downside protection plan, you lock in at a capped price. And if the price goes down, you get the lower price, whichever is lower on the day of delivery. Call Bob's Cash Fuel today, 696-3040, to learn about their programs and options and today's pre-buy price. And remember, Bob's Cash Fuel is there for all of your heating, cooling, oil, and propane needs. The hot weather is here, so check out Mitsubishi's electric cooling and heating system with EcoComfort technology that lets you control each room individually. And with no ductwork, it can be installed in less than a day. Get your Mitsubishi heating and cooling system from Bob's Cash Fuel. To heat or cool and propane too, call Bob's Cash Fuel, 696-3040 or bobscashfuel.com.
Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's Collision Center.
If your car is a wreck and you don't know where to go,
take it to Moody's.
You wanna get on with your life, get on with the show.
Take it to Moody's.
Good people you can trust, and it won't be a fuss.
Take it to Moody's Collision Centers.
MOODY. Your kid was talking on the cell phone, drove right through your own home, sitting in the parking lot. Maybe you get hit a lot, driving through the green light. Suddenly your side swipe, put it in reverse, but it turned out that it was first.
Take it to Moody's. take it to Moody's Collision Centers.
Your pep rally for freedom is back. Powered by the Gun Shop in Augusta on Coney Circle. Now, here's John James.
Did I show you my multi-tool? I did, didn't I? In case you're just tuning in, this is I like to tell people about cool things. This is really the coolest thing ever. $10, under 10, it was 9 something. Maybe it was 8 something, I don't know. I got it at Rennie's in Belfast. And it starts out as a hammer. It's a freaking hammer on a multi-tool. And you open it up and it's pliers. Look at that. I grab right on to the microphone, boom, and I can swing that sucker around. And then you've got all the traditional multi-tool things. You've got your Phillips screwdriver. You've got your file. You've got your saw. You've got your, oh, my word. It's just, oh. I'm easily amused, I am. But it's $10. Man. Okay. So I just had to, I'm so proud of that. Just humor me. Humor me a little bit. Let's see. Sheriff Cisse from Gambia listening. Thank you, my friend. I like this that we can get all over the world. Okay, I got my audio now. I want to do this. I told you I would. So, Leo Terrell, black liberal civil rights attorney, no friend of Donald Trump, stood up for Michael Bloomberg when he was in a very short-lived race for the former New York City mayor. Very short-lived. One debate, I think, is all he really could handle. Was he in 2? Maybe he was in 2 debates. But he was actually raked over the coals by Pocahontas that first time. So anyway, so he was on the Ingram Angle with Laura Ingram, Candace Owens. Back then, this goes back a little while. Back when Michael Bloomberg had said something and he was forgiven by Leo Terrell. And, this was the time when Leo Terrell was actually jonesing for a Democrat in the White House. And here's what he had to say. And we just played this. I want to give it a little bit of substance here. So I'll play it again.
Let me be very clear. I'm a civil rights attorney for 30 years. I fight against racism. And unlike Donald Trump, I accept Mike Bloomberg's apology. And it will not be a stumbling block to stop and frisk. And by the way, fair and balanced. Donald Trump supported stop and frisk, and he never apologized. Mike Bloomberg apologized for it. And I want to say this also, Laura. Mike Bloomberg has surrounded himself with minorities. I hope Candace can answer one simple question. Is there a single black person in the West Wing of the White House? I've been trying to do some research, but I can't find just one. There's no Colin Powell. There's no Condoleezza Rice. Donald Trump does not have blacks in the West Wing.
Okay. And by the way, Candace Owens, you probably know, she's also a black conservative American, a great voice. So now with the riots going on, thugs destroying lives and property still in Democratic cities, the Democratic propaganda media continues to call them peaceful, continues to egg them on. Leo Terrell, an individual, not part of the mob, has his own clear head telling him that what is happening is just plain wrong. He has to answer to nobody but himself. And he doesn't care what people think because he is a man's man and a great black voice. Furthermore, he says what I've told you since the day Joe Biden told Charlemagne the God, if you don't know whether you're voting for me or Trump, you ain't black. Here is Leo Terrell more recently.
The reason why I'm here right now, the reason why I'm voting for Donald Trump is because Joe Biden went on national. Let me be very clear to every Democrat on the planet. Donald J. Trump has done more for black Americans in 3 years than the Obama administration. The reason why I'm here right now, the reason why I'm voting for Donald Trump is because Joe Biden went on national radio and said, if you're if you vote for Trump, you ain't black. That is insulting. That is racist. Biden is the racist. And what is amazing is you have another dinosaur, Jim Kleinberg, who uses terms like Nazis and Gestapo. He needs to retire. That is insulting to the people who suffered during the Holocaust. So you have these old, outdated Democrats who are still trying to pander to blacks. Blacks reject this. And with the crime going on in these Democratic cities, it's insulting. Donald Trump is the only person who can resurrect these Democratic cities and save them from the lawlessness. But let's be very clear. Joe Biden is the racist, not Donald Trump.
Well, there you go. He knew he was going to stir up anger in the Democratic base when he said that. When he came out and said that. Good for him. Leo Terrell loves America. Clearly, that trumps, pardon the pun, that trumps everything. Evolution, I would say so. Understandable? Absolutely. He's not seeing through the lens of the left. He is seeing through the lens of an American who just happens to be a black American. Notice how he referred to himself as a black American, not an African American. 1051 on Legacy 1160 WSKW. I don't know if you saw Mark Levin. Mark Levin on Life, Liberty, and Levin had a guest on, and see if I can find. I just thought that this would be a nice place to go right after Leo Terrell. Whether or not I'm going to be able to find it this quickly is another story. Things tend to get buried sometimes. But on Life, Liberty, and Levin, Bill Barr joined the great one and told America, again, what I've been telling you since this show started. The propaganda leftist, not news media, is telling you and me lies. That's what propaganda is. It's lies for an objective. Their objective is Democratic power. That's their objective. And that's why they tell lies. In this case, the lies are about the violence taking place in Democratic-run cities across the country. The only reason we know about them, get this, this is so ironic. This is so freaking ironic, it's hilarious. The only reason we know there are riots going on is not because of high-paid news correspondents with millions of dollars in TV cameras and microphones. It's because of people like us, non-journalists, using our $20 a month Samsung Galaxy or iPhone. It's true. That's the truth. The very media that should be letting us know about this stuff. We have to find it shared on social media or Fox News before social media, in their censorship ways, deletes it as fake. Listen, this is from Life, Liberty, and Levin. And Bill Barr sums this up perfectly.
We have these citizen reporters who have these videos of these events, which are quite different than what we get a lot of times from the media, which seems to be sort of censoring the violence. No?
Absolutely. They're they are projecting a narrative. When the word narrative came into currency, I knew we were in trouble, because the word narrative really suggests that there's no objective truth. There's no real story of what happened. It's just everyone has their own narrative. And you get to then the press can justify presenting a story that doesn't really correspond to objective truth, but it's our narrative. We have a narrative, you have a narrative. I've been appalled at what's on this violence because it's happening right out in the streets. Anyone with eyes can see what's happening. They see the violence. They see these groups of agitators in their black outfits, and their helmets and their shields, which incidentally have the hammer and sickle on them most of the time. Rushing the police, causing violence, throwing rocks, the people showing up with the rocks and the frozen bottles. That's happening. That's happening in front of people. You don't see it on any of the national news. You don't see it on the networks. You don't see it on the other cable stations. And yet you hear about these peaceful demonstrators. So it's a lie. The American people are being told a lie by the media.
The American people are being told a lie by the media. You know who that's going to make very, very, very angry and hostile toward the Attorney General? The media. Because they don't like it when somebody tells them they'll say partisan. He's a Republican hack. He's breaking the law. He's the worst Attorney General we've ever had. Bill Barr should be impeached. He should be removed. They've all said it. They've all said it. Why? Because he's doing America's bidding the way it should be done. He's calling out fake news the way it should be done, the way the president does. No, it's not untruthful. It's very true. He said, if you have eyes, you can see. But people don't believe their eyes anymore. They believe the narrative. The narrative trumps vision, apparently. What you are told by Joe Scarborough, by Willie Geist, by Rachel Maddow, by you name it, Don Lemon, Chris Cuomo, whatever they say, what you see. Ali Velshi was standing there with it seemed like there was explosions, there was fire behind him. He was telling his viewers on MSNBC from Minneapolis, well, these are mostly peaceful protests, while the fire at the police station was raging behind him. But people are believing Ali Velshi before their own eyes. I don't even think he's an American, is he? He was born, he wasn't born he's a Canadian. He's not even from Canada, though. He was born somewhere else. We've got an Ali Velshi piece coming up later on this morning. He's one of the cue balls on mainstream news. I'm not making fun of cue balls. I mean, look at me. But I'm more lovable than Ali Velshi. Come on now. Give me a little love here, will you? 10:58 on Legacy 1160 WSKW. Oh, let me see. Oh, good. We got a love. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Terry. Getting some love in the Trump's Bunch Facebook group, one of the many groups we are sharing with today. And we are broadcast, for those watching on the other pages, we broadcast this show every day, Legacy 1160 WSKW on our Facebook page, also on American Women Who Bear Arms, and we share with a bunch of others. Today, for some reason, they're allowing us to start watch parties, which is something that happens only occasionally for some reason. But it happened today, so that's why we're getting seen in more different places. Although they have now stopped us from sharing. This post could not be shared at this time. Please try again later. It's called John's Watch Party. Isn't that nice? Got my name on it and everything. I like that. Here every day, 9 to noon, Monday through Friday, and streaming at legacy1160.com 24/7 with music, 60s and 70s music afternoon, and on video at legacy1160.com and on Facebook from 6 to noon every day if you want to see the video of our pretty faces as we speak truth and freedom every single day. Truth to Power, we call it. It's coming up on 11 o'clock. We've got a lot more to get to after the news. So stick around. How stupid can Hollywood sound? Well, we'll give you a little glimpse at that coming up. We do have the Ali Velshi breakdown coming up next hour as well. Ali Velshi of MSNBC. And and more. I'd like to leave you with that. We always say, oh, the Hodge twins are back. We've got the Hodge twins. I love the Hodge twins. So stick around. They're going to be here in just a little while. They are Kevin and Keith, and they've got a lot to say. Stick around. It's all coming up. 11 o'clock right now. I'm John James.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.
ABC News, I'm Jim Ryan. President Trump's executive action on coronavirus stimulus funding over the weekend is raising legal questions about whether the president constitutionally is allowed to do that. ABC senior national correspondent Terry Moran reports
those payroll taxes help fund Social Security, and Democrats and their presumptive nominee Joe Biden immediately.
Yeah, there you go. No, it is constitutional. Trust me, it is constitutional. In fact, I'm actually going to cite an article I think it's an IRS byline or whatever they call it. It's a part of the IRS rules. So I will cite that. Now, I've also got a good backup here, and I will let you hear him. He was on the Fox Business Channel, and I forget just who it is right now, but that's coming up. And Social Security and Medicare, by the way, social programs. Give me my Social Security money. How long have they been telling us that Social Security is good? The fund is going to go. There is no fund. How long have they been telling us this is going to go broke? We may not have it when we retire. Then why the hell are we forced to put into it? Why? Why? I mean, this has been going on for decades. Oh, Social Security is going to run out of money. This is nothing new. This is just another threat because they don't like what the president's doing. That's what it is. And no, give me the money I put into Social Security. Give it back to me, all of it. And let me put it into a 401k where I can choose where to put it. And I can make a hell of a lot more money than 0% interest and fat chance you may ever get it. Just saying. So, with that said, we have all this coming up in the final hour. I'm Johnny James, your buddy, and we've got less than a minute left before the show comes back. Excuse me, I've got to go clear my throat and have a sip of water. Enjoy the rest of the news, or just commercials now. Thank you for... Whoops, hold on. There we go. Thank you for listening.
Is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
O'Reilly. This is Derek's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
After the third time jump-starting my car, I finally realized my battery was dying. So I stopped by O'Reilly to have it checked. They tested it right there in the parking lot. It was bad, real bad. But they helped me find the right battery for my car and even installed it for free. Now my car starts like new.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
And now, live from the Legacy 1160 WSKW studios in Maine's capital, here's the man that commands attention, not because he's important or smart, but because he believes in the Second Amendment and tax 24/7. Here's the always well-armed John James.
Better to have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. Don't ever forget that. Got a great gun story here out in New Hampshire this morning. Read this in Gunpowder Magazine over the weekend. Wait a minute. Oh, today's the 10th, right? Okay. Okay, hold on. See, I say stuff like this. I've got to tell you, Chris Sununu is a good guy, good governor. Good governor. These are the kind of governors we need to keep us safe, to keep us American, to keep us free. States have a lot of power. States have a ton of power. And if we elect the wrong people to the state governments, it's just as bad, not worse in some cases, than electing the wrong person to the federal government. Federal government put in place to be the centralized government. Their main deal is to protect our natural rights. Oh, of course, they do far more than that. They go against the Constitution by literally not protecting us, by putting us in danger. They completely do opposite of what their appointed duty is. By defunding the police, by defunding ICE, by calling for open borders, by calling for defunding the military and putting it elsewhere so we can pay for Medicare for all. This is what you're up against this coming election. The border wall is necessarily a tool of protection for people who would come in here and hurt us. Do all people who sneak in want to hurt us? No. Some are looking for a better life, but do it the right way. Yeah, there's a wait. Probably there's going to be a fairly lengthy wait, but you do it right. You do it right. You come here. You're vetted. You do what you need to do to get into the country. They don't like this word. They don't like this word. The left does not like the word assimilate. Oh, no. You mean they have got to learn our language? They have got to promise to be Americans first? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, that's racist. No, that's not racist. That's American. What you want to allow is unconstitutional. That's worse if you're a leftist. Governor Chris Sununu has once again defended the Second Amendment. He vetoed another leftist bill, HB 687, which was a proposed red flag gun confiscation law. It would have allowed, as you might expect, a judge, a single judge, could be a leftist judge. Yeah, there are leftist judges. No, I'm sorry. Judges interpret the law based on their party affiliation most generally. Not always. Usually. There are Obama judges. There are Clinton judges. There are Bush judges. There are Trump judges. There are. I don't care what John Roberts says, what he claims. There is a stark difference. So, by Chris Sununu vetoing this, he has vetoed a bill that would have allowed a judge to order the seizure of an individual's private property without a hearing, without due process. Now, the Democrats, in their quest to disarm law-abiding citizens, took advantage of the Wuhan virus panic, or the China virus panic, to pass the bill along party lines in both chambers, thus attempting to join 19 other states in the suppression of an individual freedom, which they are charged with what? Anybody go ahead, say it. Protecting. Right. It is not a gun right. It is a human right. We love to hear, medicine, medical care is a human right. Housing is a human right. No. I mean, housing is available to everybody. If you want a nice place, you have to work hard. You have to pull yourself up by the bootstraps, which AOC says is impossible. You hopefully can get health insurance, but there's not a hospital in the country, I don't think, that if you have an emergency is not going to care for you based on your inability to pay. That's how some hospitals wind up in the red all the time. But anyway, that aside, self-preservation is a human right. So is life, so is liberty, so is the pursuit of happiness. We all have the ability. Nobody should be kept down. Many are, I realize that, but look where they are kept down. And don't ask why they are kept down. They are kept down because if they're down, if they are in bad, a bad situation, a bad neighborhood, then they count on the government. That's what the government wants. So anyway, as a New Hampshire resident, said the author of this Gunpowder Magazine article, I consider these rights to be sacred and applaud Governor Sununu for defending them. As gun owners, we must remain vigilant, as this is but one small victory in the never-ending war to take away our Second Amendment rights. Absolutely true. Absolutely. We can't count on the NRA, the Gun Owners of America. I mean, these are great organizations. Gun Owners of Maine, great organization. But we have to keep our boots on the ground. We have to keep our eyes to what's going on, our ears to what's going on, and we have to know what is happening so we can counter it. And they try to slip this stuff under the cover of night a lot of times without the public even realizing what is going on until it's too late. So that's why you need somebody like John, that is Dad, Chris Sununu in office to be able to fight the fights before many people even know there's a fight going on. It's 11:11 right now. And speaking of freedom, speaking of natural rights, nobody, by the way, I want to say hi to, Bill is listening. Cue ball love. You're a cue ball too, Bill, huh? I see you are. Rock on, brother. From West Virginia. Mountain Mama. I want to go to West Virginia. I love that song. That was my father-in-law's favorite song. Take Me Home, Country Roads, John Denver. 11:12 now on Legacy 1160 WSKW. And Joe Biden, speaking of freedom, not only is he inarticulate, he is against guns, which we were just talking about. He is for socialism and free stuff, even for non-citizens who shouldn't even be here. And yes, the DACA Act, executive action that President Obama took, was unconstitutional. I remember that. Somebody sent that to me earlier. He tried to pass another similar one, DAPA, D-A-P-A. I can't remember what that acronym stands for. That was shut down. It was rejected out of hand. Anyway, back to Joe Biden here. Here's what Joe Biden is saying in recent interviews with propaganda media. A lot of people don't watch the propaganda media. Their ratings absolutely suck. So Joe Biden has all kinds of freedom to say things he wouldn't say where people were actually viewing. Here are some answers during interviews. Listen.
How likely is a rollback on day one of the reopenings of businesses that we've seen nationwide?
Well, look, that's a good question, but an unfair question, because I have no idea what this president's going to leave me with. If he acts responsibly, which he hasn't done thus far, if he acts responsibly, I may be in a position where we don't have to roll back. But if he continues to walk away, wave the white flag, and just say open, and then listen to some quacks telling him that what we should be doing, and you can, cause COVID-19, the whole thing is he's got to be more responsible. So it depends on what I inherit to determine what I'll be able to do and say and should be saying on the day I sworn in, if that in fact happens.
Should undocumented immigrants also be able to get subsidized health care?
If they are working in the United States of America.
What?
And they are paying taxes. They should have access to health care.
They shouldn't be working.
They should have access to what everybody else has had access to.
So just to clarify, you were saying that if you are undocumented, you would be able to get a vaccine for free, subsidized.
Yes. Yes.
Question for you is, do you think the American government owes Black people reparations? In what form, if so, should it take?
I think the study suggested by my friend Cory Booker should be followed through and see. Spent an hour and a half today on the telephone. I mean, on what we're doing right now on camera.
On what we're doing right now. Now, I forget words. But wow. Hello. On what we're doing right now. Camera. Say cheese, Joe. Huh? You know, if they could get him to hold a more articulate thought and stream his words better, he would be good for the Liberty Medical thing. Wilford Brimley just died. I was very sad to hear that. Hi, this is Wilford Brimley, and I've got the diabetes. I loved Wilford Brimley. He was like America's grandpa, wasn't he? But Joe Biden could fill the role. I don't know if Joe has the diabetes, but he could pretend he does. He could maybe do the acorn stairlift. I can't get up and down the stairs anymore, so I sit on this acorn. Cut! Acorn stairlift, Joe. I have a hard time moving my bowels anymore. Cut! It's not a laxative commercial, Joe. 11:16 on Legacy 1160 WSKW. I pray they let him debate too, Jay. I do, his handlers. The word if is the biggest two-letter word in the Democratic verbiage. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Thank you for the private messages. The audio I get on the messages, I have to listen to. Teresa sent me one saying, so excited I can't stop being happy and hopeful. Okay, great. I can't wait to hear this. I cannot wait to hear this. I don't know what it is, but if it's as good as Teresa seems to feel it is, I will have it here tomorrow on this show. 11:17 right now, Legacy 1160. Online, legacy1160.com/video, or you can go to listen live, powered by Harry J. Smith Company in Waterville. The video online on the website and on Facebook, brought to you by Moody's Collision Centers of Maine. There you go. Got more Joe Biden, too, for you. We do have the Hodge twins coming up. I promised you the Hodge twins. Yes, we will have them coming up here on Legacy 1160. But Joe Biden may be losing his mind. I wanna give you a little something here from Andrea Mitchell. This happened on Friday. MSNBC continued dismissing Joe Biden's racial controversies because they do not want him to be damaged by them. He's damaged enough by mere incoherence. So on her noon show, the Democrats' favorite news propagandist, Andrea Mitchell, interviewed Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, who is a potential pick for VP. And she treated Keisha Lance Bottoms to a nice softball interview about the presumptive Democrat nominee's offensive remarks. You remember he said Hispanics are more diverse than blacks? He said that last week. Oh, you haven't heard that if you watch lamestream media, but he did. He said it. And that's what they talked about. Softball. And then there's more, so stay tuned. Listen, here's how the interview went with Keisha Lance Bottoms of of Georgia.
The former vice president did try today to clarify a statement that got a lot of backlash yesterday, where he was saying that the Latino community is diverse, quote, unlike the African American community. And he tried to say that he did not mean to suggest that the African American community is a monolith. But is this a problem, the way he was articulating this?
Well, I believe what he was trying to articulate was just in terms of voting patterns. But I know that he doesn't believe that we are a monolith, because I've had these conversations with the vice president directly. And we've talked about the growing importance and voice of the progressive wing of the party, fueled in large part by younger African Americans. I do think, obviously, that it perhaps could have been expressed better, but I know his heart, and I know the conversations that I have had with him directly and what he's expressed to me about his appreciation of the diversity within the African American community.
And I know how busy you are, but I was really struck when I had a chance to listen to Michelle Obama's podcast yesterday, where she talked about what she called a low-level depression that she's experienced during the pandemic, largely because of the experience of George Floyd's death, reliving a lot of the racism that she and President Obama encountered on their campaign and when they were first in the White House. And it struck me that experience, with all of these police cases, you've experienced them in Georgia, as you know, that's something that millions of African American women are feeling.
Wow. Can you get any more gentle and empathetic? Andrea Mitchell. Andrea, you care so much. You care so much. You didn't even talk with Keisha Lance Bottoms about a part in the same interview where Joe called the Hispanic community more diverse than the black community. He also called a black reporter, or asked a black reporter if he was a junkie. What? Excuse me? He did. Yeah, this is last week. You'd think he would learn. You would think he might learn over time, but he didn't. Because in his fumbling, stumbling, bumbling way, looking for the right words to say, he always manages to choose wrong and oftentimes racist ones. Andrea Mitchell, softball pitcher, never mentioned this, but this happened in that same interview.
Mr. Vice President, your opponent in this election, President Trump, has made your mental state a campaign topic. And when asked in June if you'd been tested for cognitive decline, you've responded that you're constantly tested in effect because you're in situations like this on the campaign trail. But please clarify specifically, have you taken a cognitive test?
No, I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying before you got in this program, if you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you say to President Trump, who brags about his test and makes your mental state an issue for voters?
Well, if he can't figure out the difference between an elephant and a lion, I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
What? Come on, man. You a junkie. You've been doing cocaine before the interview, man. A black reporter. Joe Biden, you ain't black if you don't vote for Joe. Oh, yeah, he said that too. And, yeah, Bill, thank you. Come on, man, Bill says. Yes, I did, Bill. Bill's. This is good. You can look this up. Robin Williams did a bit on Joe Biden's gaffes and incoherent speaking ability in 2009. The late great Robin Williams. He's gotten a lot worse since then. Is true. I was thinking about playing that Robin Williams bit on the air, but there are a couple of words that wouldn't be too kosher on the radio. But it was typical. Robin Williams it was just so good. Whether you agreed with, I don't know. He's probably liberal, but he didn't care. He just served it up, and like it or not, he didn't apologize. I love that. Oh yeah, one of the things he said in his bit was, Joe Biden, and now here's Barack America. He said, "Come on, Joe. He's not a superhero." Look it up. You can find it. Just type Robin Williams, comma, Joe Biden into Google, and it'll come up. Whether you like Biden or not, how can you vote for a guy who uses verbiage like that? Yeah, I know. But, in his defense, Ken comment, in his defense, it would really make this job a breeze for the next 4 years. I've got to tell you, I mean, we would go from a talk show to a comedy show in one inauguration, literally. 11:25, back with more. I'm John James.
Legacy 1160, WSKW.
At Rod Cyclone RV, we know these are uncertain times. Everywhere we turn, we hear about the phrase, the new normal. But how about instead of a new normal, we go back to simpler times? Let's put our devices down and get into nature. Share a family dinner on the picnic table, laugh together around the campfire, or go on a hike. At Rod Cyclone RV, we'd love to help you find the perfect camper for your needs. No pressure, no gimmicks, just a quality camper at a good price. Find us online at rodcyclonerv.com or stop in Route 201 in Madison. Rod Cyclone RV, not the biggest, but always trying to be the best.
My name is Chris Blackburn. I live in New Gloucester.
I'm Penny. I live in Scarborough.
My name is Carl Parker.
My name is Carla Gill. I'm from Portland, Maine. I have voted for Susan Collins multiple times, and I cannot vote for Susan Collins any longer.
Here we go. Okay. Yeah, we'll be right back. I love it. Ken and Bill right back to back said, "Come on, man." That's a Joe Biden crutch. Come on, man. Come on, man. Let's go out and do some push-ups, man. Let me tell you about Corn Pop. He was a mean dude. Oh, appreciate you, Ken. I do. Bill, appreciate you. I love the cue ball look. I don't know if it's the glasses or what there I'm seeing in your profile picture. You look like a guy I wouldn't want to tangle with. I'll tell you that right now. And I'm a mean dude. Come on, man. All right, back with more. We've got one more commercial and one more half hour and plenty. As I rub my hands together, plenty of good fodder. Stick around.
Take it to Moody's Collision Centers. MOODY.
Your kid was talking on the cell phone, drove right through your own home, sitting in the parking lot. Maybe you get hit a lot, driving through the green light. Suddenly your side swipe, put it in reverse, but it turned out that it was first. Take it to Moody's. Take it to Moody's Collision Centers.
Your pep rally for freedom is back. Powered by the Gun Shop in Augusta on Coney Circle. Now, here's John James.
Come on, man. We're back. 621-9759. Sorry, I'm not watching the phones. I've missed some calls. That's problematic for me. I realize I don't have my producer. 621-9759. Text might be easier. 207-441-6969. By the way, we've got a Dr. G coming on the show on Wednesday. So if you have any questions for a real medical doctor, we talked about, last week we talked about AFib, and because I just had a buddy diagnosed with AFib, and he's got some other conditions going on too. He's haven't checked out this week. I'm really concerned about him, but anything like that, any medical conditions, I don't care if it's personal stuff. I don't care. We aren't going to mention your name. You know, if you want to talk about the roids or anything like that, I mean, there's medical people have medical questions that are a little embarrassing to ask. Put your name to. Just text us or private message me. The world doesn't need to know you have piles. Oh, don't worry. I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm a man of my word. 621-9759. Just trying to figure out where I want to go next. Let's see. Do we have any computer's messing up? Did I tell you we put some more memory in the computer? I haven't had a problem since. Running slicker than the smelt, as they say. Oh, Jo Jorgensen. We haven't talked about her much. Do you even know who she is? She's a relative unknown. And she's a libertarian. She is a more leftist libertarian. And she canceled a campaign event after she was bitten by a bat. Ouch. Incidentally, a new poll shows that the bat actually has a better chance of becoming president. I don't know if you knew that. I don't know what kind of a bat it was. Bats are notorious for rabies, aren't they? Ooh. Bats sort of creep me out. I don't know. Have you ever been to Mount Blue State Park in the amphitheater for movies? First of all, you get eaten alive by bugs. But second of all, there are, when the movie's going on, you look up and there are all these bats circling around. I don't know of anyone who's been attacked by a bat, at least not where I'm there. But they're dangerous. They can be very dangerous. And this is a family thing. This is a family place, this amphitheater. And so I guess they weren't, the state park people weren't too concerned because they didn't stop the movie or anything. You got these little bats. Maybe they were domesticated bats. I don't know. This just came in from Fox News as crime spikes in many cities and calls to defund the police continue to rise. So too has the demand, as you might expect, for guns. Yet while these trends widely are seen as related, it remains difficult or time-consuming in many of these places to get a gun. Firearms-related background checks reached 3.9, almost 4 million in June. The most since the tracking system, NICS, N-I-C-S, was created more than 2 decades ago. The FBI conducted 3.6 million checks in July, the second highest number on record. But some of the Democrat-dominated cities taking steps to defund or curtail their police departments, worrying that many response times may be increased as resources stretch thin. In these Democrat-controlled cities, getting a gun for personal protection is no easy task. Reasons include, but are not limited to, tight gun laws. Oh, you can't have a gun. No, guns are evil. It's unbelievable. Again, I don't care what argument you make for Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders or Pocahontas or anybody on the left. I don't care what argument you make for them. If this is my only argument, it is a valid one, a reason to never, ever vote for any of them. They don't like the Constitution. They do not like and do not desire to protect your and my rights, inherent rights, our natural rights, our rights to life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, which includes self-preservation. They do everything they can to deny us of the rights. They should, I'm going to say this, okay? I am going to say this on the radio. I may be taken off Facebook. I may be taken off social media. It is time for a revolt because they are not doing what they are charged with doing by the founding documents. They are not. Oh, but Donald Trump is neither. Donald Trump is giving people their federal income taxes back. And we hate that because that's going to take money away from Social Security and Medicare. First of all, you don't know that. Second of all, so what? It's not illegal. It's not as unconstitutional as denying me a right to keep and bear arms, to carry a gun on my person or in my vehicle 24/7, whenever I'm on the road, whenever I go to another state. This is a mishmash of laws all across this country. It's a freaking patchwork. We've got one constitution. We've got 50 different laws, some much more inhibiting than others, when everybody should have the same exact rights when it comes to self-defense. Your right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, says the national constitution. States are not allowed by constitutional law to diminish the rights given to us by the Constitution. Why then do they? Beats me. Time for a revolt, I would say. It sure as hell isn't time to take a chance on somebody like Bernie Sanders or Joe Biden who can't think straight, or Pocahontas or Stacey Abrams or Kamala Harris or whoever the hell he chooses for vice president. He's probably forgot has to choose one at this point. This is wrong. This is wrong on its face. That people cannot get a firearm to protect themselves when the federal Constitution, ratified in 1787, provides for us that it doesn't provide the right, it secures the right. The right, remember, is a natural right. It's God-given. Can't be given by government, can't be taken away by government. The Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, the Federalist Papers, we are guaranteed that right. And yet, the states decide, like Virginia Governor Ralph Baby Killer Northam thinks he can do whatever the hell he wants to with the Second Amendment, and does. There's going to be a revolt. There's going to be a revolt. The anti-gunners either have guns and don't want you to know, or they're going to be in a pretty sad position if a revolt comes. I hope it doesn't. But I don't know the way this is going. Do you see any other way out of this? Oh, there is, but the left will not hear of it because it's their way or the highway. It's socialism now, and who knows, when they get what they want, when they get their utopia, when they get their way, and they rebuild America to be a utopia where racism is history, where starving is history, where lack of a home is history. What part of this do you not understand? It's all hype. It's all lies. It's all feel good. Kumbaya, I love you, you love me, speak. That's all it is. And the left eats it up. Well, damn it, I'm a constitutionalist. The Constitution gives me certain rights, or it secures certain rights given to me by my Creator. And you aren't going to get them. I'm sorry, you aren't going to take over the country. You aren't going to give away everything we've had for over 240 years. So you can have your power, so you can have your money, so you can have your corrupt government and your little assembly of rich friends high on the hill, looking like Nancy Pelosi does, looking down on the poor people below. You poor peasants down there drowning in your own feces and hypodermic needles, while I sit up here and eat my freezers full of Dove ice cream. Look at Nancy Pelosi. She is the very epitome of a statist. Lucky for you, I've got proof of how statist Nancy Pelosi is. It's too bad all these friends deleted me on Facebook, because if they'd have stayed, they could have learned something. They might have saved their own, for lack of a better word, asses, if they learned that they are being hauled around like a bull with a ring through their nose. They're being towed around like a lemming, willingly led to the slaughter, being intravenously fed Kool-Aid. You know what I'm talking about. So Nancy Pelosi, where would we be without Nancy Pelosi? In a hell of a lot better place than we are right now. I'll tell you that. So we've got some Nancy Pelosi here. Let me see come on, Nancy. Where are you, Nancy? Where are you, Nancy? So much stuff, so little time. Hold on. Oh, goodness. Okay, I can't find Nancy Pelosi. She's here someplace. Bear with me. You know, this is live radio. You can't get any more live than this. If this was recorded, do you think I would be dumb enough to let you hear this? It's not that I'm not prepared. Oh, no. It's that I'm over-prepared. That's my problem. I have too much stuff. And I'm not going to be able to find it right now. Oh, I did tell you, though, that I had some Ali Velci and some stupid actress. I don't know who this woman is. I'm not a big follower of pop culture and actors and actresses. Even though I worked on a pop station doing mornings for 25 years, I was more than happy to not have to keep up on that trash. Actress and comedian Tiffany Haddish said that she has avoided having children because she's afraid, and she's a black actress, by the way. She's avoided having children because she's afraid the police will hunt them down and kill them. Yeah. Okay, Tiffany. She became very emotional when discussing her reasoning in an interview with somebody else I don't know, Carmelo Anthony, on his YouTube show, What's in Your Glass? We used to play a game called What's in Your Cup. Anyway, so here's the story that was featured on Daily Blast Live, which is another one of those pop culture afternoon shows. It's all about what's going on, virtue signaling. They love it. They eat it up. They're Democrats. They're progressives. They're all, because that's what the kids are into. The kids are all into the progressive crap. So that's what we're going to do. Listen to the white host of the show at the end when she pretends to be empathetic, when she shows a little bit of virtue signaling, pretends. Epic fail, by the way. So here is Tiffany Haddish. And she's not going to have kids.
I'm older now, I'm a little older. And people are always like, you're going to have a baby when you're going to have some babies. When you're going to drop some babies. And there's a part of me that would like to do that. And I always make up these excuses like, oh, I need $1 million in the bank before I can touch it. Or I need this, I need that. But really, it's like, I would hate to give birth to someone that looks like me and then knowing that they're going to be hunted or killed.
Oh my gosh. And Erica, I don't have to worry about that with my daughter Sophie or my son Miles. And that is my privilege.
Oh, I don't have to worry about that. It's my privilege. It's my white privilege. Virtue signal much? Afraid her children who look like her will be hunted or killed by the police. But wait a minute, the police are part of the Constitution, aren't they? They are part of our home domestic defense, our protection of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, our protection of our natural rights. That's what the Constitution says the government is for. And you want to do everything but protect us on the progressive left by defunding ICE, by defunding the police, by defunding the border wall. What do you not get? If you're on the left, what do you not understand here? What are you not seeing here? I'm not saying President Trump is the best president we'll ever have or is the best president we've ever had, but he is the right man at the right time for the right job. I will stand by that until he is no longer president or until he does something totally irrational and dumb. Which, he does blood every day. He does. Shut up. Shut up. Go back in your little socialist cocoon there and pray that Joe Biden gets elected and you can have your dreams of utopia. Oh, one of the things they like to say is racism will be over. We'll get elected. We'll get elected. Racism will be over. Or as Bernie Sanders, over. It'll be over. No more racism. No, it's going to be such a great place. Everybody's going to be rich. Everybody's going to be happy. Everybody's going to be educated. And everybody's going to be welcome here. Everybody's going to, you come illegally. It doesn't matter. You heard Joe Biden on an interview last week. Well, if they work here and they pay taxes here, they get what everybody else gets, even though they're here illegally. There's your caveat. Wait a minute now. The Constitution of the United States was ratified to protect who? Don't call them human rights. They are human rights insofar as Americans living under the Constitution and the Declaration are concerned. They aren't human rights for anybody else. If other countries want the human rights, if other countries want the freedom, they want the same model, the capitalist model, then let them have it. Not my problem. Nor is it yours. If you want them to have what we have, then by all means, see ya. Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. The rights, the freedom, what we have here is not for people from other places who come here illegally. Not, shouldn't be, can't be, won't be. No, sorry. Oh, you're mean. No, I'm a nationalist. I believe in America first and Americans first. That's how I roll. That's how I was brought up. That's what I learned in school. That's what I learned. The Constitution isn't for Mexicans. It's not for Canadians. It's not for people from Saudi Arabia unless they come here legally and assimilate. And then, by God, they get the same rights as everyone else. But Joe Biden, don't you dare say, just because they're here and work and pay taxes, they get what everybody else gets. That is a slap in the face to every legal, law-abiding American in this country. You are a deplorable human being, and you are not very American at all, Joe Biden, and neither are any of your vice presidential candidates or are any of the candidates that were on that presidential debate stage. None of you have an ounce of patriotism. You want the same thing. You want power. You want control. period. And money. Don't forget about the money. Sick and tired of it. Nobody uses the Constitution as our map anymore. Nobody. It's our map. It's our guide. It tells us what we should be doing. The government of all people should know and adhere to the Constitution, and they're the first ones to throw it out. In fact, Nancy Pelosi's referred to it as an antiquated document. We have a process whereby we can amend the Constitution. Afraid not enough people would want to amend it with the rules you're looking to usurp by becoming socialist power brokers? You're afraid, you know. A lot of this crap would not fly in states, flyover states, middle America, because you need a lot of people on board with an amendment, a change to the Constitution. Probably wouldn't happen. So you usurp power by convincing people they're going to die because of climate change if they don't vote for you. What could possibly go wrong there? We have got some brain dead people out there. About 30 of them deleted me on Facebook for voicing an opinion. I deleted one he had said something. This guy, his name is Mike. I actually screenshotted him and posted him on my page. Let me see if I can find it. I'll show you why he's the only one I deleted. His name is Mike. I'm not going to give you his last name. You can look it up. My page is open to everybody. I said, that's real intolerant. See you, Mike. So he posts a lot of things about Donald Trump. Trump's not racist, though. He posts all these things. Well, Trump has done some racist things in the past. I'm not denying that. What he has done for ask Leo Terrell. Ask Leo Terrell, Democratic liberal, civil rights attorney, great American, voting for Trump, says Trump has done more for blacks, more for black Americans than Biden and Obama did in 8 years. And by the way, he did it with absolutely zero help. Trump has done it with zero help from any Democrats because they're too busy for the last 4 years trying to get him out of office. By investigating, by impeaching, by appearing on MSNBC and CNN, Adam Schiff, and all the rest of the bunch, demeaning the president, calling him a liar, calling him un-American, calling him unconstitutional. Look in the mirror, buddy. So I said to Mike, he sent all that stuff. Your point? And one of the things he shared was Al Sharpton. He said something about Al Sharpton being racist. And Mike said, I said, your point? Trump spoke truths like many of us would without sugarcoating. The politically correct speak that makes me want to puke? As an aside, I think Sharpton is a racist douchebag, in my humble opinion. Here was Mike's response. Yeah, John, except I wouldn't speak the truth like that. Obviously, your truth and my truth are very different. And you must be a racist douchebag yourself. See you, Mike. Call me a race. I didn't call him any names. I simply said that I think Al Sharpton is a racist douchebag, which I do. Not going to hide from that because he is. He's a race-baiting, American-hating douchebag, Al Sharpton. And MSNBC employs that miserable human being, just like they employ Lion Brian Williams, former NBC nightly news host. If you can't make it there, we've got a place on MSDNC for you. Don't worry, Brian. So anyway, sorry, I went off on that a little bit, didn't I? I think we've got time for one more thing here. I want to do the Hodge twins. Let me see if we've got time here real quick. I'll tell you what, we will have time. I've got the Hodge twins coming up. Stick around. That'll be coming up next. Do we have somebody on the phone? Hello, you're on with John. Are you there?
Yes, I am here, John. This is Moscow.
Whoops, hold on just a second here. I got to get this phone thing straight, which I never can seem to do. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, who is this?
Moscow Mikal.
Hey, Bob, how are you?
Good. Hey, I have one comment about illegal aliens.
Yeah.
Biden is incorrect. They do not pay taxes unless they have stolen someone else's social security number.
They can't work, can they?
Oh, they can work.
They can work. But you're right. They need a social security or in California, you can get there's a number you can get in California that works.
Oh, California?
California, exactly. But no, you're right. You're absolutely right. They do need a social security number. Yeah.
So out of 340 million, 300 million illegal aliens are not paying taxes.
No, that's a very good. Thank you for that. That's a very good point, Bob. I appreciate that.
Have a good day.
You too, sir. Bye-bye. That's absolutely right. Yeah, you're right. There is a number. I don't know. I forget what they called it because we did a story on it at one time. California, I'm pretty sure it's California, allows illegals to do whatever they need to do, to live like to live high in the hog like Americans, except for some legal Americans who can't do it because, jobs are being taken by those who have the number and will work for cheap. No, they get paid under the table. A lot of them do. Many of them go by the moniker migrant workers. You know what I'm talking about. Some are here legally, most are not. Happens in Maine. 11:56. We aren't going to have time for the Hodge twins. I almost call them the Hobson twins. Thinking of Butch Hobson. You remember Butch Hobson? By the way, what do you think about Fenway Park putting Black Lives Matter on the outside of the Green Monster on Lansdowne Street? What do you think about that? It's a Marxist organization. I have no problem with the sentiment. I have big problems with the organization. I will not be watching Red Sox baseball anymore. And I love baseball. I love taking my grandson to Fenway Park. But no, as long as that sign's there, not going to do it. Not going to do it. 11:56. See you tomorrow. Have a great afternoon. Be safe. I'm John James.
AM 1160 WSKW.
I want to tell you about the incredible items you can find at Townline Antiques, but there's no match for seeing them in person and reliving those wonderful memories for yourself. Now is the perfect time to shop through their great selection of furniture, artwork, classic electronics, sports memorabilia, jewelry, books, glassware, home decor, and so much more. Take home a little something to decorate a room with style, add to your collection, or share a wonderful memory of your past with friends and family. Townline Antiques open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 to 5, Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassalboro Town Line.
Keep your focus on what's going on in the state and the country by tuning into my show.